What's going on, guys? All right, all right, all right. Welcome in here, everybody. This is going to be great. So this is going to be a freaking hell of a live stream, guys. It really is. Um, we're going to be talking about covert methods, tactics, procedures, how to blend in, things like that. Goes way beyond the gray man stuff. This is how it's actually done, okay? And the reason why I'm doing this live stream, and again, the reason why I'm doing this impromptu live stream, you guys can tell this is not my normal background. I'm not at home right now, and but the reason I want to do it is because let me try to find it. You guys obviously ever remembrance thing. Rusty, what's going on, bro? Unstable connection. Unstable connection. We're back. So they're all standing around at this thing, and they just look so fucking out of place. It's one of the more comical things I've seen in a long time. And you would have honestly thought that, like, guys. So this is why I'm not convinced they're FBI, is because the FBI actually, when they go down to Quantico, from what I understand, they're supposed to learn, tradecraft, right? Spycraft. It's what the FBI does. They're our domestic spying service. Whatever. I won't go into it, right? But that's what they do. All right, guys. Hold on. I'll make sure I got no nudes on here or anything you guys can't see. All right, so I want you guys to be able to see this. It's on the thumbnail if you miss it, but just look at these motherfuckers. Just look at these fucking guys. I mean, they look like they're straight out of Martha's Vineyard. They just came from Harvard or fucking Princeton or whatever, and they probably all just graduated from fucking Quantico. This is like their assignment. Again, the reason I say I'm not convinced that they're FBIs or whatever is because I would hope that the FBI would be a little bit better than this. Maybe they're cops. Something tells me that maybe they're special forces or some type of military unit, possibly. But the really weird thing is, guys, when you look at it and you look at the way they're dressed, and we'll get into all of this because we're going to do a deep dive on blending in. But when you look at all of this, just look at them, okay? It almost looks like they're French or something, right? Pilgrim Radio, what's up, bro? So anyway, guys, we're going to get into all this. We're going to do a little bit of a briefing first. We're going to go over some current events, some news. By the way, Jen is not with me tonight, in case you guys can't tell. She's not popping in here all chipper and chapper and cheery. It's just me and my motherfucking tactical bullshit with you tonight. So we're going to play a song. We're going to let people trickle in. If they do, great. If they don't, they can catch it afterwards. Then we're going to do the weather, some current events, and we'll touch on the financials. And then we'll take a deep dive into it and take a look at how to really blend in, whether you're overseas or domestically. We're going to cover both. All right, guys. So this is going to be Secret Agent by Foreign Legion. That's the name of the band. This one. All right, enjoy, guys. I'll be back. Whoa! I'm like a ninja. I'm disappearing. Whoa! Traveling unknown lands from the sands of Africa, Paris, France, jungles of South America. Working for a top secret agency. My boss pages me at 3 in the morning. Shit's home. It seems a plan for a nuclear bomb. I'm going to the wrong possession. They fear Armageddon if I don't achieve the plans for the weapon. The president's requesting that we use the best man for the job, and that's you. You see, I gotta steal the plans for a madman in Pakistan. The future of the free world is in my hands. I've had a bad kiss and sunny on the head that I met last night at the casino in Rio de Janeiro. Said I gotta go to the States, put on my tux for the BBK, wear the briefcase. While I'm in station, latest crisis in the nation. Transpires another heinous situation. I'm facing termination since 008 and 009. That ain't nothing new, so that's fine. Give up the call sign. Damn, I just retrieved the broken arrow, but I gotta catch a trolley and fly like a sparrow. You're gonna chill to your own marrow. 6'6" got me scared of the horizon. Prepare for defense. Hop on the trolley and check from the east to the west. I hope and pray nobody saw the kid talking to his Rolex with the satellite link, micro beam laser, cut 6 inch titanium steel when it strikes. In the life they live in black shades like a secret agent. In the life they live in black shades like a secret agent. It's early morning, only corner road is me. I'm getting brief via satellite on PC. My plane leaves in 20 minutes for the middle Middle East. No time to stop on the stage, it's an emergency. Check the radar screen. I know you got company. A Huey helicopter on the mat. I don't trip. I got the special edition. Austin Martin, guns in the lights with flamethrowers in the tailpipe. He swooped down, bullets raining all around my auto. I dropped the shit in the third, hit the throttle. Fuck being fair, the helicopter's in my crosshair. Flip a switch, surface the air, direct hit with an explosion. Nice and secure without emotion. Live and let die and blow the motherfuckers out the sky. Straighten my tie, time flies when you're killing spies. Next thing you know, I'm sipping vodka in the Philly skies. Being careful, I picked up an adversary. Seen it 4 times since I disembarked the ferry. Professional for sure, yo, this kid's no joke. 45th for rubber grip kept underneath the coat, which is folded on his arm. Prepared to bring harm to my physics. Hollow points, paying unscheduled visits to my frame, but I don't feel the same, so I'm driven, reacting on instinct and making quick decisions. High speed foot race. This cat is giving chase, gonna have to take a stand and put him in his place. The corner, I blast with a shot that'll burn him. Pull the best palm to the chest, crush his sternum, make my way to the space shuttle. Launch flight, leave the cosmonaut in a puddle. Now I'm his double, I gotta play to win. Can't afford to forfeit. Guys lock the ship into an Earth's orbit. Docking with the space station. Retro rockets blazing, slipping unnoticed in a sensitive situation. It's time to do my thing, remain completely undetected. Lay strategic points with hyper pyrotechnics and start the countdown. I gotta be out now, I'm knowing my pace only slows from pressure point flows to flows as we slowly glide away. Both missions completed, me and this honey and the ship heated. I got game and the sweet tooth with a cavity, so now I'm hitting European skins in zero gravity. And the life you're living, you can't have stuff. In black shades like a secret agent. You can't have stuff. Secret agent. You can't have stuff. Secret agent. You can't have stuff. Secret agent. Can't have stuff. In black shades like a secret agent.
Welcome back, mother flowers. Welcome back.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you doing? How you doing out there, everybody? Oh, what up? Oh, all right, guys. So let's get into the weather. Again, I'm not going to go into like everything. I'm just going to mention tropical depressions, tropical storms, stuff like that. Anything noteworthy in the weather, just because this is kind of a preparedness-minded channel here. So we do have right now tropical storm Odette, and that looks like it's kind of heading for the Virginia, North Carolina coastline. We also have simultaneously this tropical storm, tropical depression 16, and that actually is kind of making a beeline right for the same area. It looks like these things together could converge, which is never good. Other than that, in South America, we've got some thunderstorms around Colombia, Venezuela, some increment weather out in the West Coast near Vancouver, San Francisco, a little bit of increment weather over there, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, nothing big. And then let's just take a look on the rest of the map here, see if we got any more tropical storms we're going to be watching throughout the world. I don't think so, guys. I think it looks all clear. Yeah. Over here looking at Europe, just some inclement weather in Europe, no big deal. Asia's pretty clear. Australia, for the most part, is pretty clear. All right. Just North America really getting that weather. So let's go over to the financials, and then we'll get into a little bit more interesting topics. Xmas, what's going on, bro? You did not miss it. We are just getting into it, bro. So the financials are all fucked up, guys. Let's start with the market, okay? The S&P was way down this past week, closing on Friday. Obviously, it's Saturday and Sunday. The markets aren't open, but the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, they were all down. Crude was down. It's trading at 71.96 right now. Gold is at 17.53, which is surprising, to be honest, because the market's kind of making a correction right now. It looks like it's about to, and it's just surprising that gold is kind of holding up at that 17 range. I would have thought it would be in the 18s right now. Silver's down as well, 22.36. This is the most down I've seen it in a little while. The euro also, the dollar is trading between dollar to $1.17. So it's down. The euro is down a cent. That's what I mean to say. The 10-year is up actually, and also the Russell 2000 is up. So I should say. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, guys. Let's see what Bitcoin's at right now. Bitcoin is currently trading at $47,857, and Ethereum is currently at $3,409. All right, so that makes sense that the crypto is coming up, and I don't go into all of the other cryptos. I'm just going to mention Bitcoin and Ethereum because those are like the two main players here. It's interesting that those are up. Obviously, people are getting nervous about the market right now. They're taking their money out of there. They're putting it into crypto and other things, right? Like Pence, other things. So we got Eximus and Maximus in here tonight. What's going on, gentlemen? So that was it as far as the financials go. I do want to say about the financials right now, guys. I would be a little bit cautious if you guys are in stocks at all. I know we got Robinhood traders out there, things like that, day traders and stuff. I never give financial advice. I don't know shit about shit, but it looks like we're going to be heading for a correction sooner than later. I would venture to guess Q2 of 2022. They can't go on having interest rates low forever. What that basically means to the layman out there who don't know this stuff is the stock market's not going to crash, I hope, but it will pull back slightly. So any of you guys out there day trading and trying to make a living doing that, I would be studying, how to do puts, how to all of that other stuff, right? So, all right, let's get into the news, guys. Jen was kind enough to send me some news. She's sitting at home tonight. I was supposed to be home tonight, but things happened and I wasn't able to get there. But she is, I don't know if she's watching or not. But anyway, hey, babe. Ah, she's usually all chipper and I'm all serious. But now you just got my serious fucking ass here to deal with. All right, let's get in the news. She was kind enough to send us some news. That's her thing. She loves looking at the news. She's always sending me really good articles. Other guys on Instagram always send me great shit. But for now, let's take a look at this. So the first in human history clinical trial for a candidate treatment for individuals living with human immunodeficiencies virus type 1 is starting soon after its maker, Excision Biotherapeutics, today received an investigational new drug clearance for the FDA. So that's good. Biotech is really the way of the future, guys. Biotech is the way of the future. It is the way of the what? Of the future. It really is. Mark my words. ICYMI. South Korea fines Google nearly $177 million for blocking Android customization. Google says it intends to appeal the ruling. And that is what happens when you got big tech firms forming a monopoly and things like that. Things just like this happen. Ken Allard, bro, what's going on, my man? He is in the house. Amazon, world's largest online retailer, has hiked its average starting wage in the U.S. to more than $18 an hour. The company also plans to hire another 125,000 warehouse and transportation workers. Guys, if any of you are as old as I am, and you would remember that Amazon, when they first started, was selling fucking books and pretty much just that. And then they branched off into selling like other stuff. Nick Leonard, what's going on, brother? When are we chaining, bro? So Amazon, then eventually you could buy cool shit. I remember I was living in a house with a bunch of other friends. I was fucking young. I was probably 23, 24, something like that. And Amazon would sell you like nunchucks and like mace and cool shit that even if it wasn't like legal in your state, you could still order it and they'd ship it to you. They didn't give a shit. So like we had all this like cool stuff at the house. We would throw ninja stars at the walls and stuff. Like drew people on walls and fucking throw ninja stars. It was cool. Amazon was the shit. But now it's grown into something a little bit different. But if you had told me back then that this was going to be like one of the biggest companies in the world next to Google, I don't know if I would have believed you. I might have. As news of U.S. flights back to Haiti spreads, migrants fret about where to go. So this is basically, from what I've been hearing, there's a bunch of Haitian migrants, not even migrants, they're fucking invaders, basically, coming in, and they're all kind of camped out in one centralized location. And Biden basically said, no, fuck that. They're going back. Get them out of here, which for all his rhetoric, bro, like, okay, whatever. But they're sending them back, and now they're very fearful. Nick, take your time, man. I won't be available until October anyway. I know we'll train at some point, bro. I'm looking forward to it, though. Hong Kong's first Patriots-only election kicks off. Let's read about this. Hong Kong, September 19th. Fewer than 5,000 Hong Kong people from the mostly pro-establishment circles began voting on Sunday for candidates to an election committee vetted as loyal to Beijing, who will pick the city's next China-backed leader. Okay, so yeah, basically they're installing their own government in Hong Kong. Fucking really sad. It's really sad, guys. It's really sad. I love that city, and it's never going to be the same. China, okay? Biggest threat to humankind, China. The U.S. finds itself in a diplomatic crisis with France over its deal to supply Australia with nuclear-powered submarines. Analysts say the crisis throws into doubt the united front President Biden has been seeking to forge against China's growing power. Well, it looks to me like France is throwing a bit of a hissy fit here. Now, France actually already has nuclear submarines. They're a nuclear-armed nation. So I'm not too sure what they're upset about. Maybe they're upset that we're not going to give them, access to more of our technology. I don't know. But France is like, French people are like that, right? Oh, you did not choose me, oh, monsieur. Oh, but if you press them hard enough, I surrender. That's what they do. They surrender. So maybe that's why we don't want to give them shit, right? But actually, they were so peeved with Australia that they pulled some of their diplomats out of Australia, which I don't know what's going on there. I really don't. Anyone out there with information on it, let me know. But that's something to watch there. Let's see. Two of California Governor Gavin Newsom's children have tested positive for COVID-19. But I guess, okay, so he's got 4 kids, but he doesn't have it. So that's interesting. Obviously, you guys know Gavin and Newsom won the, election referendum. I don't think he, legitimately won. It could be, obviously they were doing these mail-in ballots, which worked to the Democrats' favor. I was actually talking with a gentleman today. He's from California, and we were joking. He goes, well, it lends itself, to Democrats very well. The mail-in voting, because they can basically sit on their lazy ass and just give it to the postman and he'll send it in, right? They don't got to go anywhere. They don't got to do anything. They could sit there with their bongs and just hang out, and they don't got to do shit. But, I'm not really convinced that was the fairest thing. It looked to me like there was a lot of foul play going on, which sounds about right. Oh, Ken, I didn't know that, man. France was going to be selling subs to the Aussies. That makes perfect sense. That makes complete sense. Thank you for that info, bro. It was a choice for the Aussies between electric boats from France or nuclear boats from the U.S. Oh, okay. Well, obviously they chose nuclear boats from the U.S. I mean, who wants electric subs? I mean, I get it, right? But that's pretty old school technology, right? Like, we want those things out there for as long as they're capable of being out there, right? Like, until they need to be resupplied or whatever. I don't know exactly how subs work, but until they need to be resupplied, we want them fucking out there. And then from what I understand, because I knew a couple of submariners once, you can go indefinitely with a nuclear-powered submarine, and then if you need food or whatever, just pull up in Tahiti or whatever and get more and then go back underwater. Something like that, right? So, that's really good, and I'm glad we're selling them. Nuke subs. Because, like I said, China is really being aggressive right now, and they're getting ready for World War III. And we need to be as well, all right? So Let's see. TBQH, France was a powerful military force a long time ago. World War I did away with that. Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree with that, Rusty. France has been letting their shit slide for a long time now. But that's what happens. You know, look at the UK, look at France, look at Spain. All of those nations were once the most powerful nations in the world, and then they became part of Europe, right? Just another country in Europe. They can still hold their own. Like France obviously looks out for its interests abroad in South America, in Africa, right? But, I mean, right? So, yeah. We don't want to end up like that, okay, in the U.S. Biden is trying to make us, or whoever controls him, is trying to make us end up like that. But I have a feeling certain people won't let that happen. Not me, just, people out there in the government will have America's best interest in mind in the end. That's what I've been told, at least. So we're going to keep going here. Let's see what else we got. This one's from Ocean Technical. French trying to gain new close allies in the Pacific region as it loses its deal with Australia. French naval chief held talk with Indian naval chief in U.S. regarding Indo-Pacific region days after the abrupt scrapping of submarine deal by Australia on behalf of the U.S. and U.K. Well, listen, I think it's good that France is talking to India. I'm surprised that we weren't actually helping India more, right? Because India and China are mortal enemies, and they're like right next to each other. So it would make sense that we want to arm them, but maybe we don't. I don't know. Maybe we don't trust them enough. I'm not sure. Maybe we don't think they're competent enough. Again, this is the Biden administration doing this, so we have to assume that whatever they're doing is completely incompetent. But it's just interesting. The world players are all coming onto the stage right now, guys. It's all getting ready, dude. SpaceX, all civilian inspiration for mission, splashes down off Florida. So if you guys hadn't heard, we didn't send them. SpaceX sent 4 civilians into space. This is the first all-civilian mission. NASA didn't have a fucking thing to do with it, guys. It's really impressive. And this is the future. This is the future that we're living in, guys, is we're going to be putting men and women into space, not only from NASA, not only governments could do it now, but independent contractors, not even independent contractors, independent companies can now send manned missions into space. It's only a matter of time before we see a manned mission to Mars, guys. It's only a matter of time. We got guys talking about the VAC ions tonight. Whatever, guys. That's old news. It's old news, guys. It's old news. All right, so that does it for the world events, current events. Thank you, Jen, if you're watching. I don't know if you are. Send me a text if you're watching this. Thank you for putting the news together. All right, guys, so let's jump into the meat and potatoes of tonight's topic. So, again, for those of you guys who are just joining us or joined us after the intro, I'm going to pull this picture up because it's something really to be talked about, and it's something really to be analyzed. So you got the JAN 6 rally that happened today, Remembrance Rally, which was suspicious in its entirety, okay? They put the fence back up, Looks like, to me, they're trying to consolidate power. That's all this is. But just look at these guys, okay? I'm going to try to get my phone to actually do this. Look at these guys that are hanging out there. They are obviously not guys like you and I, okay? These are a bunch of college bros. These are a bunch of college bros who obviously just got out of like Ivy League school type schools, right? They probably went through Quantico. This is their first assignment, blah, 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 blah. Or maybe they're cops, right? But they don't look like cops. These look like college bros, okay? And typically cops aren't college bros. Yes, you have to get your criminal justice degree. It's like, what, a 2-year degree? 4 max, right? No, these look like business majors or like, I know the type well, okay? They're Chads. So these guys are all standing around. Just look at these motherfuckers. No fashion sense, really. They look like Wall Street guys, right? Look at them. So they're completely fucking out of their element, and they're completely out of place. So it got me thinking, like, holy shit. They look, honestly, they almost look like CIA guys. Not that CIA would have any place there. Like, they don't typically do that type of stuff. This is FBI or some other agency like that, right? Could be cops, could be, but I don't know. It doesn't look like they are. They don't look like cops. Another theory that I have, they could be special forces types or something. But again, they look just like very East Coast Chads to me. And I know the type well. That's why I say that. Sam, what's going on, man? Why did they think cuffed shorts were a good idea? That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, they look like Harvard and Princeton types, 1,000%. Vineyard Vine, fucking Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket going types, right? Like, do they not? They do. They look straight out of Chad Tuckett, all right? So, yeah, Rusty, I agree. They're feds. They're definitely feds, man, because you have to be that type to get into the FBI or whatever other agency you want to pretend to know about, right? So, or brand new cops, Maximus says, could be, dude. It could be, okay? I'm not going to throw that out because when you go to Quantico, guys, you're supposed to learn about tradecraft. You're supposed to learn about surveillance, blending in, that type of stuff. Part of blending in is doing your advanced research. So it's not hard to do your advanced research, okay? Like, when I was working for private eyes, various private eyes, I would do a lot of research before I went on a job, and I would usually have very limited amount of time to do it. I'd usually get my assignment the night before. I'd be getting up at the crack of fucking dawn, and I'd usually get my assignment around 7 or 8 at night the night before, right? Something like that. Not a lot of time to prepare. I'd be doing a few things. I'd be looking at Google Maps, trying to get familiar with the area as much as possible before I went there. Not that you really can so much on Google Maps, but, I'm trying to get a lay of the land. Trying to find out, okay, where am I picking the guy up or girl up or guys up or whatever it is? Where do I need to go? What do I need to be prepared for? What are some natural choke points going around there? But also part of what I would be looking at is trying to get a feel for the demographic of the area. And I would dress for that demographic. Now, if I was going into New York City, depends what area of New York. And again, New York would be kind of a bad example because you can dress like a number of different ways and still blend in a place like that. There's a lot of freaks in New York. So it's not too hard. But again, if you're going into Brooklyn, you want to kind of dress the part for Brooklyn. You don't want to wear anything that makes you look like a cop because that will arouse suspicion 100%. So no, cargo shorts. No, you want to look as working class as possible when you're going into an area like that. And same thing when you're going into a demographic like this. What would you want to do? Okay, if you were wearing street clothes, you might want to wear some baggy-er type jeans, right? The skinny jeans is not exactly what types like that wear. I'm not saying baggy ghetto jeans. I'm just saying some, Lee dungaree or whatever, type jeans. And a t-shirt, right? Maybe you get like a MAGA t-shirt. Maybe you get like a 1776 or an InfoWars t-shirt. Okay, not hard at all to do. I don't know how long these guys had to prepare for this, but it would not be out of the realm of possibility that they had a few days to prepare for this, for their assignment. So it wouldn't, again, be difficult to go and make some shit up. How about a flannel fucking shirt? Now, I realize it's humid, it's hot down there, right? So maybe they didn't want to do that type of thing, but a fucking white t-shirt and a pair of fucking Lee dungarees and some, I don't know, Nikes or whatever, right? That would be fine. You could even get away with kind of dressing a little tactical for that because that's the demographic that's going there. Tactical type dudes, right? You're not wearing a suit in the Bronx. No, you're not wearing a suit in the Bronx. Absolutely not. You're in Manhattan, maybe, right? But again, you got to think, what vehicle are you driving, okay? And does that fit in? Or do you need to go? And so something, when I used to work in the city doing surveillance, I needed to be prepared to go from Midtown to the Bronx on a train, right? Or, on public transport, on a bus, something like that, or even in my car on the whim, right? So I needed to be dressed for kind of both, right? You can't dress in a nice polo and, you know, a pair of Dockers and then expect to end up in Brooklyn or the Bronx and like act like you fit in any type of way. So it really needs to be kind of a mix between the two. And I won't say I got really good at it, but I got decent at trying to kind of like piece together things and ways that I'd be able to blend into both, right? And part of that is making it just look low key, just low key, you know, a pair of jeans and a plain black t-shirt or a plain, you know, gray t-shirt would be fine for kind of both occasions, right? Pair of, I don't know, whatever type of sneakers you wear, right? You could be anybody, okay? And then again, you carry a backpack with a change of clothes in it, just in case. Generally speaking, you know, you don't want to change too drastically, right? Especially if you're a guy like me with tattoos, because people will take notice of those, right? People will take notice of certain things, like my body type, my body structure. It's unique. So you don't want to like go too out of your way. But again, there's things that you can do, you know, throw on a new one of these, right? Throw on a new hat, right? New pair of sunglasses, whatever it is. And if it's wintertime, it becomes easier actually. So these are some things that we can be thinking about when it comes to on the fly, but we're not talking about necessarily on the fly. What we're talking about is if you're going into an event like this, okay, how do you do your advanced research? Well, it's very simple. I would look, and if I was them, I would start looking at the January 6th thing. Try not to use these words, but I would look at the video clips on YouTube from that. I would look at video clips on YouTube from Patriot rallies, Proud Boys, these and that things. I would start piecing together, and again, it's warm climate, so take that into consideration. What do guys wear in a warm climate? What are you seeing on YouTube? What are you seeing on Google Images? What are you seeing on this and that? Do they wear really cuffed shorts? No, typically Proud Boys don't. Typically, you're going to see a little bit baggier cargo short type deal, right? You're going to typically see cargo shorts and a t-shirt, some kind of made in 1776 t-shirt or grunt style t-shirt, right? Something like that. Look at their hair, okay? It's very Chad, okay? Change your fucking hair, guys, or put a fucking hat on, okay? Not hard. It's really not. In fact, that's probably the easiest assignment that anybody could have gotten, and they fucked it up, which doesn't make me very like enthusiastic, or it doesn't make me very like trusting of these guys' ability to really do anything at all. Race plays a part too. It does play a part too, and eczema. So if you're a black guy, that's not out of the question that you can be there. Can you wear a MAGA hat, bro? There's plenty of black guys who are all about Trump. In fact, more and more and more these days seem to be coming along to that side of things, the more Biden fucks them over. But you're going to kind of need to play the part, right? So look at that rapper, Byron. Anyway, there's a lot of guys you could look at and say, hey, listen, I'm playing the part of a black patriot. Let's say you're Middle Eastern, okay? There's fucking Middle Eastern people out there who are pro-Trump, all right? And we could go on the other side of things too. Now, if you were trying to go and infiltrate through an Antifa thing, race wouldn't be as much of an issue because there tends to be a lot more different diversity there. And I'm not saying there's not diversity in the MAGA crowds. There's plenty of Asian MAGA people, plenty of fucking Indian, Hispanic, black, whatever, all people. You know, it's they're two are not. It's not a racial thing. But I get what you're saying. I do, and especially when it comes to working on the fly, whether it's a PI type of deal or working as an undercover in some respect, or even loss prevention, something like that. You have to think. And I was going to, when I was a PI, I was going to a lot of neighborhoods that were not white. Okay, I stuck out like a fucking sore thumb, But it's part of playing the thing. So what I like to do sometimes, I would dress like a fucking blue collar construction worker. I had a high vis shirt I would wear, dirty old pair of jeans, pair of steel toe boots. Okay. Sometimes I'd even put a rag on my head or whatever, hat. I fit right in, in those really, really, really blue collar neighborhoods. You don't always want to be that dude. And when I first started, I made that mistake a lot. I was that dude in my Oakley sunglasses and a hat sitting there in my vehicle trying not to look suspicious. But of course, everybody thought I was a cop, which actually they left me alone because they thought I was a cop, but that it didn't work out. Bryson Gray, exactly. Thank you. Thank you, Pilgrim. I highly recommend that dude. He's got great music. So it lends itself to you don't want to fucking be thinking, anyone to be thinking that you're a cop. You want to really play it down as much as possible. That old cliche, when I was causing a lot of trouble in my youth, you know, guys would always tell me, look at their shoes, look at their shoes. If they got nice shoes, like shiny shoes or boots or something like that, they're dead giveaway for an undercover. It's cliche, but it turned out to be true. So there's things like that you can start to think of. Pilgrim says pro-Trump minorities are awesome because they show that patriotism is in us all. I agree, man. This thing is not a racially motivated thing at all. This is America. And America wouldn't be America without a bunch of different people. Like when I'm at home in the city, I love the city. I love New York because you can go and like interact with so many different people. You can find someone from anywhere in the world, and you can find the best food in New York City, period. Okay, even better than LA. Even better than LA. I say young cops because they're hair rags. Yeah, it could be, right? You look at it, and I'm looking at the photo right now, but yeah, I see that. But if you look at their hair, okay, it doesn't look like cop hair. It doesn't look like cop hair. Some of it does, but look at that, okay? Trying to make this glare go away. Look at this brushed up, combed over thing on the guys. Okay, this maybe, okay, maybe, right? They could be Chad cops or whatever, but they just look a little bit more sophisticated than cops. They just look a little bit more Chad than cops. Typically, you see cops, I don't know, they're more blue collar, right? And these guys are definitely fucking white collar people. They're definitely white collar. And that's why I say feds. Shiny shoes, they're Marines. Yeah, could be, right. And that's a little old school, the shiny shoes thing. It's a joke, kind of, but actually turned out to be true once or twice. They also look like they could be some kind of special unit, right? But they just look too white collar. They just look too white collar. And look at the way they're dressed. I keep pulling my phone out here. They, none of them have any markings on their shirt. This is a big thing when it comes to going undercover. You don't have anything on your shirt that has a logo on it. And there's no logos on these shirts. So they followed that part of their fucking training. Unfortunately, they didn't follow the part of training where they said like bright colors. Well, actually, they're trying to avoid bright colors too, right? There's no really bright colors here. There's the guy over on the, I guess to you it's the right, to me it's the left. He's got these bright colors with his little rolled up shorts and his white shirt. It's actually white and purple, I think, or purple, indigo. And typically when you're on the job, they're going to tell you to wear neutral colors, like blacks, grays, things like that. So something that won't stand out. Whites, although it can blend in, it actually stands out. And then you got this guy over here who looks like a ranch. He looks like a carpet you'd find on a ranch. So that doesn't blend in too well. It really doesn't. I don't know what he was thinking. They've all got their sunglasses on. Okay. Looks like this guy grew his beard out just a little bit. But again, look at the fucking build on this guy. He's not jacked, but you can tell he's in shape. Okay. And they're all in shape. Not that I'm saying like MAGA people are not in shape, but they're very much in shape. They've got chests. They've got this one guy over here, he's got some arms on him, right? You can tell they work out quite a bit. They do a lot of PT. Now look at this guy over here. Look at his long ass hair. Okay, that's not regulation cop hair. You don't typically see cops with hair like that. Do you see feds with hair like that? I don't know. You guys tell me. But I don't know. I'm trying to get a beat here. They look very serious. Now let's take a look at their watches, okay? They've all got tactical watches on. They've all got the tactical watch. Let's zoom in here. These guys with their tactical watches. Okay, who they fucking trying to fool? Who are they trying to fool? But this is just ways that we spot, you know, guys that are doing the same stuff, right? They've all got what? Water bottles. They've all got the same water bottles, okay? They're not drinking Cokes. They're not drinking, you know, Gatorades. They've all got water. Why? Because they're in shape. They're worried about staying in shape. They don't want that sugar, right? They're guys like you and me, guys. You know, they're tactical bros. And, you know, I almost felt bad putting their pictures out there, but their pictures are literally all over social media right now. So, you know, they're blown, okay? I'm sorry. They're so blown. They should have fucking done their research a little bit more, and they should have fucking, they shouldn't have fucking been so foolish. They really shouldn't have. They're not fooling anybody. Okay, let's take a look at this guy right here. Let's take a look at his shoes. The socks that go up, they're not ankle socks. Typically, you see guys wear ankle socks with shoes like that, with shorts. But the guy doesn't have much fashion sense, and he's wearing, what color are his socks, guys? What color are his socks? They're black. They're black uniform type socks, okay? So this is all different ways that we can pick out guys that are like this. They needed to do their research more. And how do you get blown? You don't do your fucking research. That's how you get blown. How about not hanging out in a group? Yeah, exactly, man, exactly. I get why they're in a group, you know. You want to have that social contact going on. You want to all be talking with each other. But if they were... Yeah, exactly. You guys get it. Yeah. What they should have been doing was branching out and talking with other people in the crowds. Maybe two of them, you know, hang out with each other. They talk back and forth, and then, hey, let's talk to this guy. Hey, bro, you know, what do you think about this and that? Da da da. They should be getting to know people in the crowd. They should be making social alliances. This is a big part of this stuff, guys. Making social alliances at that time and that place, because you never know when that's going to pay off. You never know when someone's going to give you that tip. You never know when someone's going to walk over and say, hey, did you hear about da-da-da-da? I know this is going on over here, da-da-da-da. But no one's going to walk up to these fucking chads when they're all in a group like this and tell them anything. People are going to stay far away from them. It's really upsetting. It's upsetting to me because they should know better. Okay? They should know better. Now, could this be a bunch of chads that actually just wanted to go to the rally? Could be, but it doesn't look like it. Okay, it doesn't look like it. So that's it. I mean, I think we've covered some pretty good topics here as far as, you know, blending in, sticking out, how not to stick out. Let's talk about a little bit about doing this, but overseas. Okay, because this is where the FBI and the CIA differ, right? So the CIA actually has to be better at this. And I've known a few guys, okay, that work in the other agencies. And they all, like, they're not much better, to be honest, but they are at the same time. Anyway, let me do this. Let me talk about if we were going over to a foreign country, it doesn't really matter where. How are we going to figure out how to blend in that foreign country? This is something I have a lot of experience with. Well, we do our due diligence, okay? We go ahead and look at current photos of the place we're going to. Let's just say, for an example, we're going to Barcelona, Spain, okay? We need to blend in Barcelona, Spain. Okay, well, first of all, fucking learn Spanish. And no, don't learn Mexican Spanish. Learn proper Spanish. And get good at it to where you don't have, you know, a crazy accent. You're going to always probably have a little bit of an accent, but get decent at it. Spend your time doing that, number one. Learn the culture, okay, number two. Now, as far as how to dress over there, you're going to want to start by looking at current pictures, like current pictures. So type into Google, Barcelona, Spain, 2021, you know, and it depends what demographic you're trying to blend in with. If you're trying to blend in with the younger crowd, look at college parties, raves, clubs, whatever, right? See how they dress. How do they dress during the day? How do they dress at night? Because they're two different things in Europe. And look at it. Like typically their shorts are above the knee, whereas ours are just kind of below the knee, unless you're a Chad like these guys. Typically their shirts are tighter fitting because they're skinnier people. And again, they're skinnier people. So change your physical appearance. Okay. If you're a little bit overweight, you're going to need to go on a crash diet and lose some of that weight. Okay. And if you're a big dude like me, like I'm not like big like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I'm Swedish. My ancestors were Vikings. So I stand out. Maybe you want to, like, if you really need to blend in there, okay, maybe don't hit the gym for a while, right? Because they don't, like, in Spain, in France, you see less jack dudes than you do in Germany, for example. But that's something that you need to know. So changing your physical appearance to the degree that you're able to is also something that is done and should be done. Haircut, okay, haircut. Like, how do they cut their hair? Again, these guys, honestly, they look more French than anything else. These haircuts are very European. Well, they're, I don't know about that. They're more European than not. They're just very Chad-centric. But this guy over here, this is a very European type haircut. Longer, you know. But again, it depends on the demographic. So hair, clothing, body type and structure, gait. Okay, what is gait? Gait is how you walk. Do you walk like this with a bit of a swag? Like you might be, you know, somebody. Or, you know, are you more kind of reserved? That's something to think about because you might want to change your gait if you're looking to blend in. Watch how everybody else walks. This is something that people do, and unconsciously they mirror each other. Society mirrors each other. So looking and finding out how people walk over there. How do they talk? How do they communicate? Do they talk softly over in Switzerland, over in the Netherlands, over in many European countries? They talk more softly. In Paris, they talk more softly. But if you're in New York, you're going to be talking like this. Yo, bro, I was in the other day and I was talking about da-da-da-da. But if you're in France, you're going to want to talk very softly. And again, keep in mind that your English accent or your American Yankee fucking accent will give you away, right? So if you're going over there and you know the language, only talk in the language unless you're talking with somebody else. But then you have to remember that you don't have a French accent, for example, right? So that will give you away. I remember I did my surveillance training in the UK, in Leeds, in Brattleboro, called it Bradistan because it was like all Muslim, in North Yorkshire, in London, some. So one thing that always gave me away was my Yankee fucking accent. People knew right away he's not from here. Even if he, it was like a Burberry hoodie I had, and it looked English enough, right? It was whatever, but I could pull it off, right? Obviously, I could look English, but my fucking accent. As soon as I started speaking, and as soon as I started speaking into the radio, right? We had pressels, we had a radio around our neck, so all we had to do was press the pressel. We talk normally, and it basically looked like we were talking to ourselves. So the other guys could go around and say, red 5, he's taking a right on James Street, he's going down, I'm gonna be changing eyeballs, blah, blah. You could kind of talk softly and you have that English accent. So it's like, huh? Oh, whatever, I'm gonna go on my way. But when it was me, it was, hey everybody, I'm Red 5, I'm taking a, not like that, but it was the type of thing where people took notice of it. Right away, people took notice of it. And they'd want to talk to me too. Hey, are you from New York? Are you from, whatever, da-da-da, hey mate, da-da-da-da. So that brings notice to you. So keep in mind your accent. Now, again, this could be something that we could think about for stateside as well. We could think about this for stateside use as well. If you're from the South and you got a Southern draw or Southern twang and you're talking, but you're in New York City, people are going to notice that. People are going to take notice of that. Subconsciously, they're going to notice that. So that's something to think of. Could you change your accent a little bit? Potentially. But hey, these are just things that you should pay attention to. Guys, I'm missing the comments completely here because obviously I'm talking. Like, I'm not lecturing, but I'm talking. And I'm kind of giving almost like a lecture. But these are just coming to my mind as I speak. So, yeah, Bradford stand. Yes, exactly, man. It's Actually, that's where some of the SEAL teams went. I trained with the same company that trained some of the SEAL teams before they were going over to do Bin Laden and stuff. And they need to know how to do this stuff. And I went through the same course that they did. They went through Bradistan as well. Brattleboro-stan, Brattleboro's in Vermont. Bradistan, Bradford-stan. And that was part of the hostile environment training. We would go and we would, we'd have to fucking navigate our way through. Basically, it looked like the Middle East over there. And it was fun. Women in burqas and stuff. And if you go in the wrong store, women, with their hijabs off and stuff, get out, this type of thing. So it was a great training experience. That's for sure. I'm just trying to see, guys, if I missed any good comments here. They're all great comments. They really are tonight. All great comments. Yeah, exactly. Eximus, great point, man. And a lot of countries, if you're overweight, people see that as wealth. And if you look at wealthy people, it's really easy to get overweight, okay? It's really easy because you're always eating fine restaurants, fine food. You can eat whatever you want, whenever. So it is. It's seen as wealth. It could also be seen as poverty, depending on how fat you are, right? But, and what area of the world you're in. Because if you're in somewhere like India, then yeah, absolutely, that's going to be seen as wealth. Whereas if you're in somewhere like the United States, that's going to be seen actually as something kind of the opposite. So it just depends. But typically overseas, when you see people with a little bit of a gut, they are a little bit more well off. I know a guy who was an IRA volunteer. Interesting. I walk like I'm listening to Staying Alive. Staying alive. Staying alive. I do too sometimes, man, actually. Not really, kind of. Let's see. That's funny as shit, bro. Half of my family were IRA. The other half were unionists. That's an awkward family dinner, man. You thought Trump and Biden supporters was awkward. That's an awkward fucking family reunion, bro. Interesting. My dad was a draft dodger. He went to the UK. Interesting. I can't fault anyone for that, to be honest, during Vietnam, man, because that was some fucked up shit. So I couldn't fault anyone for that, for dodging that draft, man, because it was wrong in my opinion in every way. What would I have done personally? I don't know. I would like to say I would. Well, I wouldn't fucking dodge the draft. I would go, but very reluctantly because that's some fucked up shit. Rusty, I can't blame your dad at all. Might have done the right thing. Probably saved his life, to be honest with you. You might not be here if he didn't do that. Your Xmas's Ohio accent gives it away. Trying to fucking think what an Ohio accent. Very plain. Kind of plain. Like when I say plain, I mean like plainsman. Yeah. We left NI when I was 14, moved to North England, Lancashire. Always had trouble with that one. Lancashire. I think I have Nevada accent. Yeah, and I can't simulate or emulate a Nevada or an Ohio accent, but I know what you guys mean, actually. New York accent in Ohio. Only Puerto Rican over there. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Talking about Meng. That's actually kind of a Mexican accent, but I've never been great with accents. I really haven't. New Jersey, Northern Ireland. Oh, NI, Northern Ireland. Got it. Yeah, and Northern Ireland, and again, that's some of the guys that actually trained me were all ex, either SAS or whatever, mostly ex-SAS guys in England who worked in Northern Ireland. And they did a lot of that hostile environment stuff. And a lot of the times they would kind of probably tell you it's better to remain in your car, I think is what they would say. Remain in your car with your M4 or M16 in your back seat and try not to get out. Because you really don't want to get out too much and go around the locals when you're in a situation like that, because they'll fucking know you're not from around there. I once met a guy with glasses, bald on top with a ponytail. Looked like a hippie professor. Later found out he was retired CIA. So a lot of these retired CIA guys, you never fucking guess. You would seriously never guess that they were CIA. And that's part of it, right? They're very good. CIA does this meticulously because they have to. Because blending in overseas is different than a bunch of Chads trying to blend in at a fucking Republican rally. It's a lot higher stakes. It's a lot higher stakes, and you have to be good at it. But there is a guy, forget his name, Michael something. He's on Instagram. He's on YouTube as well. The Kilo 23 group actually interviewed him. He was supposed to come on the podcast, but him and I just kind of lost touch. We both got too busy. Ex-CIA guy, looks like a complete hippie. All right, I think he's Middle Eastern by descent. Thick fucking curly afro type hair, beard, Birkenstocks, Tevas wearing type of guy. Chacos, those like hippie sandals. Chacos, I think. Like that type of guy, right? He's got like the REI hiker persona going on. Never would guess he was CIA, but he is, and he's legit. And a lot of those type of guys, you just wouldn't. There's a guy who goes around and he's on a lot of these documentaries. His name's Kevin Ship, SHIP, I believe. And he always claims that he was a clandestine officer. But actually, what I believe he did was he was in the clandestine protection services or the protective services. So he looks a lot more like a cop and acts and talks a lot more like a cop. But typically when you see, and this is not always across the board because I've actually met a lot of guys who are in the CIA who, like, they're more paramilitary than anything else. But I think a lot of the guys who get chosen to do kind of more of the fringe work are a lot more like that. They're very good at developing contacts, working kind of alone. Not alone, because you never work alone in that business from what I understand. But, they're more on the fringe. They're more unsuspecting. And that I really think that can make a really, really great undercover type guy. Somebody, actually, the guy who trained me in the first PI firm that I worked at, dude, you would never guess he was a fucking private spy, for lack of better words. You would never guess. I mean, the guy was a fucking liberal hippie. He was a, like, for real liberal hippie. He went around, and his thing, he'd have a tank top, like a striped tank top, pair of shorts and flip-flops. Long, shaggy hair, pair of, like, cheap gas station sunglasses, that type of thing, right? Skinny guy. You would never fucking in a million years guess he was a PI. And that's what made him actually so great at what he did. He was really good at it. He was very, very good at it. And he gave me a lot of good tips about blending in, non-permissive environments, so to speak. Ghettos and shit. And he'd be like, bro, got nothing to worry about, man. Actually, people are more friendly to you because you're white. And you, like, obviously don't, like, you're not from there. But the difference is, and this is what I found out the hard way, when he went in areas like that, they figured he was there to buy drugs or, like, hang out, right? But when I went in those places, they always thought I was a fucking cop. And they didn't fuck with me because they thought I was a cop for the most part. But at the same point, it didn't exactly work to my advantage because I stuck out. So I had to get creative with it, i.e., the construction worker, the mechanic, the welder, that type of thing, right? The another thing I like to do was the oil plant, the oil refinery worker, that type of dude, right? Gas station sunglasses, yeah. Cops in New York City called bad guys callers. Yes, I have heard that expression before. I bet Northern Ireland has been a resurgence of IRA, dissident Republicans that hate the Good Friday Peace Accord. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't follow that stuff too much. I really don't. Um, but those are some things that we should be thinking about when it comes to blending in. And I'm not going to tell you everything I know because that would be stupid. But those are some good things off the cuff that I think are very solid tips. Another thing as far as communicating goes. Another thing as far as communicating goes, all right? So I've tried a few different ways of, especially if I'm working with another guy or another couple guys, there's some ways that you can go about working your comms. One way is a Bluetooth, but that kind of over the years, depending on, again, how you're dressed and where you are, has become kind of a known thing. And if you're in an area like, the Bronx or something like that, you might not want to be on your iPhone. So getting yourself a cheaper track phone type thing, or even a fucking, like a flip phone or something like that, not a bad idea. Just use it for work, right? You stick out less. Okay. You stick out less. Bro, nah, at least if you pass by in my part in the Bronx, I figure you for NYPD or FDNY if I saw the tats. Yeah, exactly, man. I'm telling you, bro, every time I was in those areas, it was either, they always thought I was that, right? They always did. And they wouldn't be too far off. But there was also medical pagers. Sure, sure. I used to go to concerts, and people often thought I was security. I was working in security at the time, but not at the concerts I attended. So, guys, when you're like us, okay, and I'm not saying everyone in here is like this, some guys could blend in way better to certain environments than others, right? But Eximus, you might be able to blend in a lot better to the Bronx, but you go to, Bel Air, right? And actually, I can't say that you wouldn't blend in because you throw on depending on if I don't know if you have tattoos or anything, but if you throw on a nice collared shirt and you clean yourself up, again, I don't know what you look like, man. I'm just saying here. It's always easier, in my opinion, to dress it up than it is to dress down. It's always a little bit easier to dress up than it is to dress down. That's just what I found. Not always, but for me at least, because dressing down, you can have a bunch of different. You have a bunch of different types of areas that you go into, right? So dressing down, I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys or not. Not me. People figure I'm from New York. They think I know where the cocaine is. Yeah, that's what I figured, man. To be honest. So, because I know guys like you, man, and you're all, you're all pretty much the same way, bro. You're all a bunch of bros, and you all fucking look like that, man. So, but if you were to put on, I don't know, let's just say a suit, right? Who's to say shit? Just act like you deserve to wear it, man. Just act like you deserve to wear it. Act like you should be wearing it. And that's kind of what I'll leave this as. And then we'll open up the discussion a little bit more because there's so many good comments here. I want to get to all of them. I want to read them. No matter what you're doing, no matter where you are, no cover for action, no cover for status, no cover for status, no cover for action, right? So that's like an old cliche tradecraft thing. But basically, if you look like you should be there, then you have every right to be there. If you act like you have every right to be there, you have every right to be there. So if you're wearing a suit, act like you're the fucking king of shit. Act like you fucking been rocking that suit. And like anybody who tells you, try to tell you shit, you're going to yell at them and tell them they're stupid. Tell them they're uneducated, right? Like that type of thing, right? Act like you got a fucking cell phone stuck up your ass. And a Mont Blanc pen in your pocket, right? If you're wearing that construction worker type of deal, right? Act like you've been fucking working since 5 a.m. You got up at 3:30 to catch the bus to fucking go over here to this part of town, and it's like 2 o'clock, but it feels like 8 o'clock because you've been fucking sweating all day, fucking hammering shit, and fucking whatever, and like you got that tired look in your eyes, right? You're like almost don't even give a fuck because you got 2 kids at home and the wife's been bitching and blah, 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 right? And you like can't even fucking almost like you made rent this month, but like fucking A, you really wanted to go take that fucking trip down the shore, but like blah, 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 right? Like you got a chip on your shoulder, that type of deal. Act like it, okay? Fucking act like it. 2 examples I can give, right? 2 examples I can give. Or, hey, fuck, maybe you're trying to blend in with security, right? Okay? Maybe you want to act like, you stand there like this, right? Maybe you want to act like you're always scanning the environment, no matter even if you're off duty, right? Maybe you want to act like, you pressed your shirt this morning and, it doesn't matter. You're going to stand there like this no matter what, even if you're in line at the grocery store, right? That type of thing. So play the role. Play the role. Method acting. It's what it is. Guardius Maximus says you look good in a suit. The English accent helps too. Oh yeah, James Bond over here, man. I'm telling you, no matter who you are, when you're English and you're in the States, man, people are always going to assume you're more educated, you're more sophisticated. It's just the accent, man. You put a suit on top of that, people are going to be like, "Let me give this guy some money." Yeah, Rust, you could blend in with security. Probably, man. Probably very well. All right, guys, listen. I'm gonna take a 2 mic break here. We're gonna round this thing out. I want to get into some comments and just bullshit a little bit before I have to close out. What time is it? Zulu time. It's okay. So I'm gonna play another song. Sometimes these songs get my shit like demonetized. I don't monetize these streams anyway because I fucking curse and shit. Let me pick out a good song here, guys. Something that'll entertain the masses over here.
Are you ready?
Not exactly what I was thinking about. I got to be careful what song I choose.
The following is an actual conversation, but
all right.
We are engaging the New World Order. We are engaging the new.
The following is an actual conversation between a neocon star
Enjoy, guys. I'll be right
and a
back.
subscriber in distress who is locked in her car and doesn't have the proper authorization to get out. With Neocon Star, help is just a satellite away.
Neocon Star, how can I offer you great service today?
Please help me, I'm trapped in my car. My retina scanner won't work.
Just relax, sir.
It's not sir, it's ma'am. Please hurry, it's hot in here.
According to Admiral Poindexter's database, I have you at the Monsanto Mart on 2nd Street.
Right?
I have a live shot of you from the Neocon Star observation blimp in your area.
I'm an old lady.
All right, sir, looks like you have no outstanding warrants, so you're not under vehicular detention. But it looks like you have some outstanding parking tickets in 2 counties. We'll need you to slide your national ID card for deduction before we can release you from the car. Slide it through the Neocon Star console now.
But I can't find it. I'm looking everywhere. I can't find my national ID card.
Sir, I'm going to send a Homeland Security helicopter there right now to check you out. You have a 99.2% chance of being a terrorist. Would you like in-car lethal injection right now, or would you prefer to wait for the agents?
Okay. I'll take the lethal injection, please.
Thanks for using Neocon Star. Have a nice day.
This is Michael Corbin from A Closer Look. Does this scenario seem far-fetched or on the horizon? Well, we may experience this level of government control if we don't stand up today and take back our God-given freedoms that have been taken in the name of the war on terrorism.
Yo.
Heard you speaking my name, and now your world's tilting badly. When it comes to spitting flames, I got more game than Milton Bradley. You can't stab me, you ain't inflicting trauma, kid. I'm about to drop your ass worse than your mama did.
All right, what up, guys? Guys, it's fucking hot as shit. I'm in the desert right now, and it's fucking like, it's been a fucking million degrees here. There are areas in the UK where as soon as you open your mouth to speak, you're blown. Yeah. Yeah, actually, it's funny you say that, bro, because that's what I heard from those old SAS dudes, that if you were in parts of, I think, Belfast or something like that, and you open your mouth, you're blown. So they really tried to keep it. They tried to remain in the shadows as much as possible, from what I understand, which is, you know, it's fitting, right? We were talking about that, where you know, if you're like me and you're a Yankee and you're in Britain, maybe don't talk much if you don't want to be known, right? If you don't want to be remembered, that is, right? So Xmas. Timing plays into it too. You wouldn't see a construction worker in the middle of Queens with no yellow lights anywhere. Right. Exactly, right. Yeah, exactly. So I see what you're saying. So yeah, if you're playing that part of the construction worker, but there's no construction work nearby, like, what are you doing? Okay, maybe you're walking to catch the bus. Maybe you got, but that's something you should always have, man, is no cover for status, no cover for action, right? So this is something you should be telling yourself in your head. Let's just take that example. You're dressed like a construction worker. You're walking down, Queens Boulevard or whatever. But there's not a construction site nearby. Well, what are you doing? Okay, where did you come from? Why are you there? What are you doing? These are all things that you should already have in your head. And if you're thinking this and then you kind of actually like literally start like believing your own bullshit, it makes it more convincing. It's just a psychological thing that happens with people that, like, if you believe it, like, seriously, other people will subconsciously be like, oh, okay. Whereas, if you're there and you're like the construction worker, but you're not playing the part right, or you just seem out of place, you're going to seem out of place. So, but that's a great point, man. If there's no construction work going on, then what are you doing? Alibis, cover stories are important. Yeah, and we didn't really touch on cover stories. I've touched on that a little bit here on the channel. But they're very important. They're very important. They're very, very important. I was an older college student, and some people thought I was a professor. I can imagine that would work. I might like to use that to my advantage with the ladies, man. I don't know. You look like A+ material, but I don't know. I'm not convinced yet. Did you see the guy dressed as a priest that killed a snitch in New York? No, I did not. Let's see if I can look that up real quick. People know I'm not American originally, no matter where I'm over here. Yeah, of course, because you're English, bro, and you have an English accent. I mean, just like when I was over there, when you're over here, people are gonna automatically pick that up and want to talk to you about it, want to find out, right? Let's see, priest, man. I'm not seeing this anywhere on Google, but the guy dressed as a priest. That was just page 1. If you ever find that story, bro, I'd love to see it. But I'm not finding it on Google at this time. Holy shit! All right. Extra credit, exactly. You know, bro. Bro, I have sent it to you. You sent it to me just now or before? Thank you, man. Thank you. You know, because it honestly, it sounds so familiar. But again, people. Oh, Hasidic Jew. He was dressed as a Hasidic Jew, not a priest. All right, let me try that. Man dressed as Hasidic Jew shoots man. New York hitman disguised as Hasidic Jew. Here it is. This is on Insider.com. New York hitman disguised as Hasidic Jew shoots reformed gangster in the head. Chilling surveillance video shows. Holy shit. Okay, this does look familiar. Wow, and that's a great cover, to be honest. Now, I remember hearing about this back in the day that a lot of like typical like spy agencies actually tend not to do this. And I won't say all of them, but I know us, for example, and I think the Russians as well. I can't be certain about that, but we don't typically dress up as religions. We try not to, right? Because it's just a respect thing, and you don't want to like you don't want people to distrust the clergy and stuff like that, right? So usually, if we were using clergies, from what I hear, this is all hearsay again. It would be like we were recruiting them to do the spying for us. We don't dress up as them. That could be old. I don't know what they're doing these days. I really don't, but I remember hearing that once. Oy vey, yeah, exactly. It can't be good karma to do that, though. You know what I'm saying? Mazel tov, l'chaim. Well, it wouldn't be mazel tov, because that means like the luck, the good, the good luck, right? So it wasn't really good luck. When l'chaim means to life, so it really wasn't either one. Bro, it was crazy. Yeah, it's fucking. That sounds crazy, man. Holy shit. Reminds me of Boondock Saints. Yeah, exactly. Oh fuck! It was last week. Oh fuck, man! If you sent that to me, I saw it, man. I didn't even see it, man. I had so many people sending me shit, but like, I would have fucking, dude. I should have put that up, man. Fuck. I'm gonna put that up on the IG though now. That's crazy, dude. Yeah. Well, bro, like when you talk about like hood hits and shit like that, man, like people in the fucking hood know about this shit, man. You have to. It's a matter of fucking survival in the hood, man. I don't know much about the hood, man, because I know when I go to the hood, I don't belong in the fucking hood. But I do know that I know a lot of people from the hood, and I've known a lot of people that I shouldn't go into it. But anyway, like you need to know about this shit. You need to know about fucking like who you can trust, or more specifically, like who you can't fucking trust. More or less, you need to know you can't trust anybody. You need to know about like all of the a lot of this tradecraft stuff, guys. It applies for the criminal world just as much as anything else. And if you really think about it, CIA and guys like that, they're just government sanctioned criminals. That's all they are, in many ways. Yeah, exactly. You have to stay away from religious stuff in that profession. Dress up as Aloha snack bar. Actually, I mean, it might not be a bad idea. If you're like when you're on the beaches of Barcelona, they got these guys who will come over and offer mojitos and stuff like that, and they all kind of dress the same. Um, if you were trying to do some kind of surveillance, there's two classes of people. Now, what I would do is probably just be a beach goer, and I would probably find a chick and take her with me, and we would just go to the beach together, right? Especially if you're with a woman, You've got a solid alibi to stay at the beach for like all fucking day because women lay out in the sun until they burn. But another thing you could do is one of those like in a lot of places they'll have like these gypsy type guys who sell you blankets or like sunglasses or like cigarettes or beer. In Europe, at least, that's a solid kind of thing you could do. You got a solid, credible alibi for why you're there alone, how you're going to be there for how long, right? And then you could even, just bring a change of clothes in a backpack, and typically people don't pay too much attention to those guys because they're actually trying not to make eye contact unless they want a beer or something, right? Shalom, mother flower. Yeah. Some people say you look Turkish. Well, to use that to your advantage, man. Turkish Borat. Bro, 10 grand gets a body in the hood. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Couple $100 could get you a good jumping. Yeah, I mean, jumpings in the Bronx, man. In Queens, that's just a normal fucking Friday night, bro. But while we're on that topic, Eximus, I'm glad you brought that up. Worst, if it's a girl coming for your head, they get hits for cheaper. Wait, if it's a girl coming for your head, they get hits for cheaper. Do you mean that they get paid less? So while we're on that topic, man, cash, right? Cash is king. So in a lot of areas of the world, and even in the country, and especially more so now, if you can play it right and you have the resources, you can get done anything you need done. But here's the caveat: you get what you pay for. Okay, and I'm not talking about like criminal shit. Just get that off the board right now. For what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about criminal shit. Because we don't talk about criminal shit on this channel because we want it to stay up. Okay, but Eximus, I don't mind talking about this because this is good tradecraft. You get what you pay for. So let me say it like this. So when CIA or someone like that, I would assume, and again, this is all conjecture and speculation, pays for something, right? They don't just go and hand the job to any fucking idiot. I mean, sometimes maybe, but generally you want to vet the person first. And that could be kind of a long, drawn-out process, potentially. It can't necessarily be like, oh, my buddy Ahmed, he's a good guy. He'll help you, right? No, like, because Ahmed could be playing both sides. He could be playing one side, whatever. He could be a fucking lazy asshole and fuck the job up. And those high-stakes environments, man, it's probably much like the hood, where, if it goes wrong, it can compromise a lot of people, and it compromise a lot of work and a lot of time, right? I've blown shit myself, and it happens. I've been fired from jobs because I made a fucking one simple stupid mistake, and I cost the company a lot of money because I lost a client that was with them for a while, and they were milking this client, and I fucked up, and I didn't, anyway. There's been times where I fucked up and made stupid mistakes, and that blew a whole operation, and it honestly blew years of work. Okay, compiling information, schedules, things like that. So with that being said, money will buy you loyalty and allegiance, but it won't buy you quality fucking work. If a girl wants to get you hurt, she could give a guy some buns and get you killed. Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. I take your meaning. And that's the dangerous thing about this shit too, man, is you really can't be too fucking careful. You really can't. Because that's all it takes, man. Making enemies and crossing people and women especially. Women, same thing in the tradecraft type of deal, right? Honey traps, honey pots. Don't fucking trust a woman. That's your fucking first problem. I mean, that's good advice no matter who you are, no matter what you're doing. Don't trust a fucking woman because they're very spiteful and they will fucking get you. And it doesn't take much to fucking piss them off. So if you're out there doing that type of thing, you know, it might pay dividends actually not to get involved with a woman. It's not like James Bond where he's out there caressing. He's also caressing them. But what am I meaning to say? Macking it with the ladies. You know, in real life, it's not always necessarily like that. It's a quick way to get fucking in trouble. Cash is for silence. Yeah, that's a good point, man. So cash does, I suppose, can buy silence, but the problem that we would run into there, and Maximus, I'm understanding that you probably have experience in this industry, so I'm not trying to like hog the. What am I trying to say? I'm not trying to act like I'm something I'm not. Okay, I'm not. But I talk to a lot of people who are in this industry, so to speak, and I like to talk to people a lot and find out stuff. So when it comes to buying people's silence, right? The problem that I think we could run into is they want more. Okay, like you pay them 10 grand. Okay, shut the fuck up and go away. But then a year later, they've spent that 10 grand and they're like, well, I want more. Otherwise, I'm going to fucking squeal. And this could go for, you know, criminal shit, but it also certainly can go for this other type of stuff, tradecraft stuff as well. Now, the big advantage that like spy agencies would have, I would think, would be that they could pay you off, and then if you threaten to squeal, they could just threaten to kill you or hit you with a State Secrets Act or something like that, right? Or an NDA or something like that, right? But if you squeal, you squeal. You could still threaten them, in which case they could probably just have you killed. I would assume that's what they've got going for them. But yeah, so that's a good point, man. Tribal allegiances, clan alliances, and allegiances is a big thing. I think we saw that a lot in Afghanistan, Iraq, the Middle East in general. And that's something that really led to our downfall because we never really understood it. We didn't understand that this guy hates this other guy because it's got nothing to do with his fucking, whether he's Taliban or he's ISIL or he's ISIS or he's whatever the fuck, you know, whatever, right? This guy and this guy don't fucking get along because they're from different tribes, different clans. And they're never going to fucking like each other. They can't work together. How do you expect them to fucking fight together, right? That was a big thing that really fucked us, I think. Thank you, Maximus. Wouldn't be easier to make silence disappear? Yeah, I think that's a lot of the times how it's actually done is those people just disappear. It gives the guy you're paying off leverage over you. Yeah, it does. That's the problem with bribes and things like that. Now, bribes, this is used in executive protection a lot. They tell you if you're staying in a hotel with your client, make sure that your client gives you payroll for tips, like probably a couple grand, if they're really a big deal, right? And when you have a bellhop help you, you fucking tip them $10. You fucking tip them $20 every fucking time you see them. You're tipping them, and that buys a lot of allegiance and that buys a lot of loyalty. So that next time that bellboy sees, you know, there was that suspicious car. These dudes over here, they're cool. They keep giving me 20s. I'm going to go tell them about it, right? This guy over here is like hanging out. He's like, fucking, I don't know. He's out of place. He doesn't look like he's supposed to be there. He looks like he's watching. I'm going to go tell these fucking dope dudes because they're funny. They like tell jokes and they give me money. And that's how it's done with that stuff. Always make sure you help people who help you. And that will buy a lot of allegiance and a lot of loyalty. That's what money does, is it buys allegiance and it buys loyalty. If you're giving people money, and especially if they think that there's a chance you'll give them more money, never give them everything up front. They will go out of their way to help you, inform you, take care of you, guide you, show you around. Where should you go? Where should you not go? Who should you trust? Who should you not trust? Maybe give them a phone, right? Some guys, some EP details will literally carry cheaper phones some places in the world and hand it to a kid and say, hey, this is yours to keep, man. But if there's any problems or if you notice anything, I just need you to call me and tell me. And it works. But what happens if all the people who work with you disappear? Not a great strategy. No, it wouldn't be. Clan in Northern Ireland. Is it still that way? Interesting. It's like how most Hawaiians call mainlanders haoles. Yeah. You can't really fit in and blend in. Like if you're not from there, you're not from there, right? That's the way it is with a lot of places, especially islands and smaller places like that. If you're not from there and you don't know, like you're not known there, like you're not known there, and that's going to make you stick out, which is actually a good reason to try to get to know people as much as you can. Make yourself known there. Make your status for being there, your reason for being there, well known. Okay, even if it's not the real reason that you're there, but tell everyone, get loud, get loud about it. Tribalism is very rampant there. Hell, the Taliban wanted to literally holocaust the Hazaras. I don't know about that, but yeah, I mean, they're crazy out there, man. Kent, you're just listening to a podcast about how policymakers never grasped the tribalism in A-Stan. No, they never did. They never did. Even when we were first in Iraq, man, we just didn't understand how the Middle Eastern culture operated. Eventually, we got with it. And we started making training films for our guys about, how to talk to tribal leaders, how to go and, be polite with them, and sit down, eat their food with them, and accept their hospitality. That's a big thing in the Middle East, is accepting their hospitality. Trying to be friendly back. You don't jump right into business with a Middle Eastern person. If you kind of have a relationship with them, you talk, hey, how's your family? How's your father doing? How are the kids? This and that. Formalities. Then, slowly work your way into the business. That's in a lot of areas in the world, that's what it is. Yeah, the refugees are bringing that same tribalism here. Exactly what they're doing. Yeah. Maximus, you agree. Taliban regime prior to our invasion was committing a Hazara genocide. Yeah, I mean, they're not good people. I don't know why all of a sudden we are trying to get nice with them. I think because we realized, oh fuck, the Chinese are moving in, and there's a lot of valuable lithium and shit here. Maybe we should try to be nice. Too late. Too little, too late. Which resulted in Iran initially supporting the Northern Alliance. If you guys have ever seen Lawrence of Arabia, it's a long movie, but I highly recommend you watch it, just because it's very entertaining. What's in Afghanistan? Lots of minerals, natural resources, lithium specifically, which is going to become more and more and more valuable as electric vehicles become more and more of a thing. But in Lawrence of Arabia, at the very end, spoiler alert, guys, he's sitting down. Lawrence is sitting down in Syria, in Aleppo, I believe, with a bunch of other tribes, and they're trying to kind of hammer down alliances and who's going to control Aleppo. I think it was Aleppo, and this and that. And he basically, at the end, they're all fighting with each other over water resources and stuff like that. And he fucking walks out, and he just leaves, and he leaves the Middle East, and he never goes back. And he says, this is why there will never be peace in this region. And nobody from the West understands it, but this is why there will never be peace, because these tribal people, it's always tribal warfare. It's just plain and simply always the way it has been, always the way it will be. I don't care how civilized these people become. It's always going to be the way that it is. There always have been tribes. There always have been clans. They've always been fighting with each other. There's been certain alliances with some and certain enemies with the other, and it's never going to be any different. And even if that's expressed in business hostilities rather than, violence, it's just never going to fucking change over there. Just the way it is. No, there never was peace in the Middle East, and that's what his point was. He was running around with, it was during World War II, and he was trying to have the, I've had like maybe 600 calories today, and it's late. Trying to cut weight. Anyway, what am I thinking of? The nomadic Bedouins. The Bedouin. He was going there, basically trying to get the Bedouins to fight on the sides of the Brits. And he was trying to make alliances and stuff like that. But when he discovered that he was trying to get these tribes to fucking like come together and fight Nazis, they just ended up fighting each other first, and then they would fight the Nazis. So it's always been that way. When I was over studying executive protection in Israel, I was in the West Bank in a little town called Gush Etzion, and I won't put his name out there because I don't know, but I won't put the guy who I was with. I won't put his name out there. The Israeli guy, he did a lot of work in Lebanon, and he would pose as a criminal, an Israeli criminal. And so he would go over to Lebanon and places like that and gather information. But he brought me over to a Bedouin family. And you know how the Israelis are. They are very, well, they're fucking arrogant, okay? And they don't like the Arabs. And this guy in particular did not like the Arabs. So he literally brought me over to this Bedouin camp. It was a little shack in the middle of the desert. And right in front of these people, he's looking at them and he's pointing down to them. And he's like, see these fucking people? This is why there will never be, these are not my words. He's going, this is why these people will never be anything. This is why these people will never do anything that Israel has done. Because they're fucking sitting over here. The brother's fucking the sister. The donkey is inside the house that Israel built for them, and they're living in a tent. And blah, 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 blah. And this, again, keep in mind, we're literally standing above them, like 10 feet away from them. They can hear it. I don't know if they spoke English or not, but didn't act like it. But he was like, I know these people. The brother's fucking the sister and this and that. The donkey is, and he's very upset about this. He goes, we built them a house. We built them a house, and the donkey live in the house. And, and they were living in a little tent. Like, it wasn't even a tent. It was a tarp covering some fucking 2x4s and shit. And I'm not saying because there's definitely a Bedouin culture, and I get the Bedouin culture. They're actually good people, but that's kind of the story of the Middle East in a nutshell, right? Got the Israelis, they're talking down about the Bedouins, and then everyone else in the anyway. I digress. Lawrence of Arabia is a must-see movie if you want to understand the Middle East. Yeah, 100%, 1,000%. I mean it. Like, I've traveled around the Middle East, but that movie put things into perspective for me, just way better than even my personal life experiences could have. It's classic, and it sums it up in such a really, really well put way. The donkey really was in the house. He literally was in the house. The donkeys plural, lived in the house, and they lived out in a shack. It was weird. I don't know. That's how they roll, though. The Bedouins, they're nomadic people. They travel. They build. They fucking set up camp for a little while. They live there. Then they move on. So the notion to them of having a house, like where you stay in one place, it just doesn't vibe with them for some reason. They just don't. They don't. I'm sure they understand it, because they're not stupid people, but they're very warm, friendly like people. If you're fucking lost out in the desert, you better pray Bedouin people come along, because they will help you. But it's not something they really do, And yes, not just in Israel. This happens also like in the Saudi Arabia region, I think. And I haven't been to Saudi Arabia proper, but they will, build them government housing and stuff, but it doesn't change kind of the way they've always been. You can't change hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of what's been. Bro, this one Middle Eastern dude in New York was telling me about how he was going to get married, and he explained who she was. I had to stop him and ask, bro, I think you're marrying your cousin. Yeah, I mean, but again, they do that for tribal reasons. Very much the way that it was done in Europe, in the old medieval days. And guys, I'm gonna probably start having a little snack here because I'm fucking like starving. Hold on a second. In fact, I'm gonna keep going with this live stream for another, I don't know, little bit. So we'll play a song. Just because I need to fucking eat real quick. And this song is gonna be a quick one. Very fitting. Hold on, guys. Yalla! Halas. Habibi, halas, hala. Yalla. All right, so. Fucking quest bars are the shit. The Jerks, Uzbeks, Harazis, Baluchi, and Pashtuns. I guess those are the players out there in Afghan and those regions, huh? Yeah, lithium deposits. China's going to take them all from us. We're in a bad fucking spot. I don't know why the fuck we didn't take that shit. But that's what Americans do. So when Americans go into a foreign country and do some shit there, this is why God's on our side, I believe. We don't take their shit, okay? We don't oppress them. We don't, make them really do anything. We don't do anything. We literally go in, we make their fucking shitty place better, and we leave. We, help them. And at least our intention behind everything is to help them. We don't always do that perfectly, but we're not the Russians. We're not the Chinese, okay? We don't go in there. We don't exploit them and take their shit. We might make business deals with them and buy their shit, but we're the good guys, okay? We really are in many respects, at least compared to many other players on the world stage. When Americans go into a country like Afghanistan, we don't go in there to take their oil. I don't care what anybody fucking says. Anyone who says blood for oil and shit like that, they don't know what's going on, okay? Because we've got plenty of business dealings with OPEC and other nations that we don't. Yes, there might be blood spilled for that oil. There certainly is, but we didn't go into Iraq for their fucking oil. Did we shore up some business dealings? Did we have our corporations kind of did we take advantage of a security situation, favorable security situation to move in and have our corporation? Yes. But we didn't go and rob them for the oil. We're paying them for it. We didn't take their lithium. Okay. We should have. We didn't take their diamonds. Okay. We should have. But that's why America is the good guys. And then you got China going in there now, and they're just going to exploit them for it. But the fact that we didn't look, the fact that we didn't shore up a security situation over there and send our corporations in to mine this lithium and stuff, I don't know why. I really don't. Very strategic mistake. Unless there's shit I don't know about, which there could be, but I don't get that impression, to be honest. Belt and Road, yeah. No, they've had a strategy, man. They wrote Sun Tzu wrote The Art of War, Lao Tzu, Sun Bin, the list goes on. I mean, the masters of strategy has always been from China. And you think these people aren't reading these books? There's a good channel here on YouTube, Lao Y, I think, LAOWHY. I want to say. And he does a lot of good stuff on China. He lived in China. He's a white dude like me that speaks Chinese, and his wife is Chinese. He lived in China forever until China basically was going to arrest him. He had to flee. He does a lot of really good stuff on China, breaking down basically like they might have very advanced foreign policy, so to speak, compared to us at least right now. But domestically, they're treating their people like shit. They're not putting enough time into their own home, right? Their people are poor. Why did we leave Afghanistan? Because Joe Biden's a piece of shit. And he's working for the Chinese. No, we didn't take any lithium. We left it all for the Taliban. My personal theory is that under Biden, he's being paid off by the Chinese, and he's influencing his father's decisions. That's just what I think. Yeah, that's why, exactly, that is why China's being buddied by the Taliban. They want the resources, and they know they will give them to them. They're going to give them power. In exchange, they'll get resources. That's what they would do in Africa as well. Yeah, World War II, Sir Thomas E. Lawrence. That was a pretty fucking badass dude. Xmas. The dude was like, bro, I'm not marrying my mother's sister's daughter. It's cool. Sounds about right. Welcome to be Tennessee too, though, to be honest. Maximus says you talked to Saudi pilots in the 80s training in the UK. You would not believe the way they talked about the West, especially women. I trained with Saudi bodyguards at BSR, and I got close to them because I speak Arabic, and they thought it was just the fucking fanciest thing, right? Like whenever I speak Arabic to Arabs, like it's a great way to gain rapport. And I'm always doing this at places like that where there's, Saudi guys or Egyptian guys training. Egyptian less so because I don't speak Egyptian Arabic, but yeah, I know exactly what you mean, man. They're very nice people, but the way they think about the West is like, poof, well, frightening. Well, typically Saudi people love going to the UK because there's not that Sharia bullshit, and they're free to like do whatever the fuck they want, basically. So Saudi people, like, they love the UK. A lot of them move there. They love coming to the US too, but for some reason they like the UK a bit more. They're stuck up like that. $10% for the big guy, yeah. Exactly. Ex-miss, your wife is Filipino. First of all, congratulations. She's probably pretty. She's probably very pretty. She said the Chinese just take over, but the governed is working with them now because America, since Trump left, put back corrupt politicians. So Philippines deals with China. But I thought Duterte, fuck, what's his name? Duterte. I thought he hates China. I thought he said he'd rather die than work with China. But if that is the case, just another reason to be very concerned about what's happening here domestically. China is supporting the Philippine government. Apparently not the Maoist rebels. Wow, I didn't know that. I recall from a documentary that the Maoists use a mobile headquarters strategy to wage asymmetrical war against the government. Oh, that's something to study right there, isn't it? Yeah, Duterte. Rowdy Rodrigo Duterte. I've always kind of liked that guy. I mean, I know he's not a good guy, but I've always been entertained when I watch him. He reminds me of like a Filipino Trump. I know they've been there for a while, and it's. I mean, they're everywhere. You know, they will send the convicts over, Chinese convicts, to go work at like the mines and stuff like that in Africa, and then they'll just leave them over there, and they'll encourage them to interbreed with the African women. So basically, what they're doing is turning Africa Chinese slowly but surely. Crazy. It's smart, but it's crazy and smart. But they're crazy and smart. They're very smart people. Man, fucking desert, guys. It's fucking dry. It's fucking hot. Fuck. What time is it? All right, guys. I should get going. Been a fucking pleasure talking with you all tonight. Really great conversations. Really, really solid comments. I like that you guys, pretty much all of you guys in here, like, you guys know your shit. Yeah, it is. Yes. Yes. We had a good talk in Vegas as well. But all right, guys. Yeah, they are. They're playing the long game. Yeah. All right, guys. Cheers. Until next time, please remember that you are your first and last line of defense. And but by the way, guys, stop by GutterFightingSecrets.com if you haven't registered with us already. Please do, because you never know when they're going to shut this shit down. So make sure that we got your contact info and we can advise you on on what our contingency plans is. Good night, guys.